All right, heart surgeon busted for filming me taking a piss. What? Dear Billy double take tits. I don't know what the fuck that means. It's hilarious. I heard this story on your podcast last week. This fucking phone keeps vibrating this whole podcast. The phone fart. Wank, wank. What the fuck is all of this stuff? Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. Here we go. I heard the story on your podcast last week about the Oxford student stabbing her boyfriend in the leg with a butter knife and how she was let off easy despite her psychotic actions. I have a similar story that involved myself a little while ago. I'm a musician and was playing a solo gig near some markets in the popular part of Brisbane. Where the fuck is that? I've been there. Oh, that's Australia. Australia. Oh, that was the next thing. Libby said comma and went to the next page. It's fucking hilarious. During one of my breaks, I went to take a leak in the public amenities. I was doing my business in one of the stalls when suddenly I noticed an iPhone slowly coming over the top of my stall to my left. I could only see half of the phone, but could tell the camera was going. Obviously, it took me by surprise, and for about 2 seconds, my head went through a does not compute mode. I was only halfway through taking a piss. I said, what the fuck, out loud, when I heard the stall next to mine open very quickly. I looked behind me and saw a short, possibly Asian guy running. I tried to stop mid-piss, very difficult, adjusted myself, quickly ran out after him, only to find hundreds of people walking through the markets. I couldn't see him anywhere. I was infuriated. It was infuriating. My first thought was, oh, great. Now I'm going to be uploaded to some, quote, I love publicpissing.com porn site. I was really fucking pissed off, no pun intended from this guy evidently, but kind of glad I didn't catch him because I probably would have dragged him by the balls to the police and then they would charge me for assault. I don't think you would because it's a guy-to-guy physical confrontation, and on his phone, there would be your dick. Anyways, a few days later, I was telling my friend what had happened, and he said that he heard about an Asian German national being caught filming 7 men in the public toilets in the same area, and he found the article online. So it turns out this 26-year-old guy is a trainee heart surgeon on holiday in Australia celebrating his graduation from medical school. Here's the article. What the fuck? Wait a minute. Well, at least he doesn't work on somebody's fucking urinary tract. I mean, he at least had enough discipline to be like, listen, I can't be near the dick area. I don't trust myself. So he's up by the fucking hat. Okay, this article is slowly but surely opening. What is going on in the world? The judge went easy on him and didn't record a conviction because of his promising career. What the fuck? I guess if you're a doctor, you can get away with anything. What the fuck? So just because you're an elite student in this world, you get let off easy for doing really fucked up things? Apparently none of the other men filmed were aware of what he was doing, so I called the police in the area he was caught. They asked me to describe what I was wearing at the time, blah, 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 and said the phone was confiscated and the footage was deleted. I fucking hope so. They also that was him saying that. I just gave it a great read, so it sounded like me. If I could pat myself on the back. They also asked if I wanted to press charges. I said, fuck yes. The cop I spoke to said he would pay the pervert a visit very soon to lay the charges as the guy was due to leave the country in 2 days. I called back on the day he was supposed to leave the country, but the cops said they won't be pressing charges because they had already been laid by the arresting officer and that the student had received a conviction even though the article said he hadn't. Weird. But apparently he will never be able to enter Australia again for the rest of his life. I just think it's so fucked up that these people can get away with such disgraceful actions, especially someone like this heart surgeon who could potentially be playing with some poor guy's balls as he lays under the anesthetic. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Well, they kind of have the guy in check because heart surgery, you need other people. Here's a guy. German tourist Ladai Tran was fined $800. Sounds like about $100 a dick. after pleading guilty to seven counts. Oh, 7 counts. 7 into 800. So, he's, I don't know, about 115, about $115 a whack or something like that. $112, I don't know. Counts of recording in breach of privacy. A trainee heart surgeon. Okay, this guy, 26, a German national. Jesus Christ. Even fucking Asians, if they go to Germany, they become sex perverts. I thought it was just the Germans. What is it with that country? They just into the peeing and the shitting? What the fuck is going on over there? So he's fined $800 after pleading guilty to the Brisbane magistrate on Saturday on 7 counts of recording in breach of privacy. The court heard Lee had been in Australia for a month to celebrate his recent graduation from medical school when he filmed The Naked Men on Friday. Lee filmed 7 men in the space of 3 hours by holding his iPhone over the wall of the neighboring cubicle. None of the men realized they were being filmed, but his behavior drew the attention of South Bank security, who contacted police. Lee was arrested. The police found the video of the men on his phone. Acting magistrate, blah, 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 described his actions as disgusting. The offenses are disgusting offenses involving a serious breach of the privacy of other adult males. I can only assume the offending was for sexual gratification purposes. Lee's lawyer, Kate MacArthur, said her client had been accepted into cardiology unit in Germany and would fly home on January 12th. He has a very promising career ahead of him, she said. She said her client was ashamed of his actions, but asking that a conviction not be recorded against him because it could jeopardize his career and ability to travel. Mr. Schubert fined Lee $800 and did not record a conviction. Wow, man. That's fucked up. That's really fucked up. That's really fucked up. And am I crazy to think that because these actions are against men, something happens to a guy, it's just not as serious. I don't think. I just think that's, I don't know. Either people are like, they think it's funny. Like, if this is the thing, if a woman told another woman that's, some woman, I guess, was filming, and they'd be like, what the fuck? No, wait, maybe because it was a woman, though. But last week was a woman. She stabbed a guy with a knife. Maybe it isn't any of these issues. Maybe it's just, if you want to get away with shit, and you don't want to be a banker or be in an insurance company, then I would say have a promising medical career in front of you. Evidently, that just absolves you of everything. That's really upsetting.